Hi, this is Anita with your Life Tools, and thanks for clicking on my video today. So if you haven't already, please click a like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm a new content creator. We'll definitely engage back as we try to build our communities together. So I have been working on my page for, I want to say on and off for a year, more consistently the past couple months. And then before that, it was just like in between any spare time I had. And so naturally, my algorithm pops up videos about how to grow your YouTube and make money and do all that good stuff. But I read somewhere yesterday that it's important to, when you upload your video, to engage with people in the community. So as I begin to do this, I just started to have all these videos on my YouTube pop up about manifesting. And I'm going to assume like spiritual people, psychic readers. It just like flooded my algorithm of those type of people. And I don't like to be a negative person because I like to be real, logical, but optimistic. But what I noticed is all of them were just telling me what I want to hear. And there's a difference between being positive, manifesting, and positive affirmations, and then also just, I'm going to be careful how I say it because delusional is a word that we're using often right now to kind of meet our goals, and there's some truth to that, but the other type of delusional is unhealthy, right? I mean, we have a word for people who actually have delusions, and it's a concern because it's a safety concern. So that's another topic for another story. But I felt it was just really important for me to share my perspective and my awareness about manifestation in a more logical, scientific way. I am horrible at scientific terms, but I think I can explain it in a way that maybe you'll understand. Because I also noticed the videos that would talk about it, some people would be under commenting like, well, how is that possible? Why can't I just manifest? I think someone's like a comet hitting the earth tomorrow and it not happening, or, $1 million tomorrow in my bank account. Like, how does all that work? And so I'm going to go about my way of explaining manifestation, but in a way that's more my therapeutic route I would do with my clients when I worked in a private practice in prison, schools, couples, family therapy, and individual therapy. So there is science behind believing in something outside of ourselves. And so if we take spirituality and religion as a whole, a lot of those people are having a purpose or a guidance to their lives. So when they're dealing with difficult things, they don't have just only themselves to kind of rely on, and then a little bit easier to get back on track. Religion allows a community, it allows kind of like, I want to say like a rule book of how to live your life. So with roles, it's a little easier to make decisions, and accountability. There's obviously a downside to some of the religious stuff too, but there's a lot of beauty in it as well. And I think that's why it's so popular. The spirituality part is also big because, again, we're believing in something more than just the right now us. I mean, there's beliefs of God being within us, there's beliefs of multiple gods and other universes and worlds and so on. But the point is a belief in something that helps you in your day-to-day life. And so science has shown, studies have shown, that this helps people with depression, anxiety, and achieving their goals. So let me break down manifestation for you. Let's take the word manifestation out and think about the brain as a whole. Our brain really likes to see things it's familiar with. It likes to categorize things that we are familiar with, and very specifically things that make us feel good, happy, hopeful. But it also really recognizes the things that are not so good, which is because it wants to tell us to stay and be safe. We see in a lot of, I have seen in a lot of clients that have dealt with a lot of trauma, who have more of the extreme of seeing the negative things and the anxiety and PTSD because their body doesn't feel safe. Again, another video I'll go into explaining more about that. But the main part is the brain really likes to be familiar with things around us. So if we take that and then we think about manifestation, a lot of these videos you'll see is, say, the repetitive thing that you want to feel or be, start being that thing, surround yourself around those things. So if we think about that, we're familiarizing our brain with the things that we want it to be familiar with. So to make it more simple, if you want $1 million, if I gave you $1 million right now, how comfortable would you really be with that $1 million? How would you start to act and be different? And what would you do with that? You're probably going to see things differently. At first, there might be some freezing because you're like, I don't know what to do with this. And there's fear involved because you don't want to lose it, which is also an unhealthy way with money too. But the brain wants to familiarize it. So if we practice in manifestation or just practice familiarity, our brain's going to start to recognize things that will maybe get us to that place faster. It will start to recognize the importance of it. And when our full body, every cell in our body feels safe with it, comfortable with it, and relaxed with it, it's going to start to notice more of that. So in theory, manifestation would work in that sense, because if we're already letting our brain feel like it's okay and it's comfortable in being, it's going to notice and connect all of those other things out in the world that's going to make you that money and feel comfortable in it, confident in it, believe that it is in you to have that, or that you already own it and be it. Because when we have fear involved with money, for example, there's a scarcity mindset that we tend to have. And if we're living in fear and scarcity mindset, our brain is not familiar with the money. So we're not going to see maybe the opportunities the same way as someone had $1 million in their pocket. So that's a very brief, simple explanation, I feel like, when it comes to when people say to talk and speak things every day. Again, when it comes to maybe a self-confidence or relationship-wise, if we are wiring our brain to see positive things within ourselves and within people, if we're practicing this every day, just think about it like a computer or like muscle memory, our brain will naturally just like click to that positive thought a lot quicker and sooner and believe it. Everything that we do, we have to believe in it to feel it. And so if you constantly say that you're ugly and not worth whatever it is, then your body is going to believe it. And then everything that you look for, like, so when people might look at you a certain way, your brain's going to be familiar with that because that's what you've already told yourself. And so now you're believing that, and it justifies it. It makes sense to your brain, makes sense to your body, that truth. But if we go the opposite way, that I am gorgeous and beautiful and worthy, then our brain's going to start to notice everything that justifies that truth instead. And then more of that we notice will justify that truth more, and hence you'll feel better about yourself. And hands, in theory, you're going to feel better about yourself. So I just think it's important to say the science behind it, because you're not going to, I believe in miracles. I do believe in a magical sense in spirituality, that anything can happen. But the simple part of it is doing things in a repetitive way that makes your body begin to believe in it. You will start to notice every road and opportunity out there for you to attach yourself to the thing that you want to be. And so I think someone made an extreme example, again, of the comet hitting the earth and exploding tomorrow. Now, how much of you believes in that? And then if you have a fear of that, let's just say in general you have a fear of that, and that's an anxiety that you're experiencing, you're going to probably find articles about comets hitting the earth and when. You're going to probably run into other people who feel and believe the same thing. You're going to live in that fear, and you're going to live in a way of searching to make that fear true. and it will just build on itself until maybe when you're 60, there is a comet coming to hit and you essentially manifested it. Now, another thing with manifestation is we just really can't control other people. And that's a very important thing I think we all need to remember when we're trying to manifest. We're trying to change ourselves. Is our sole responsibility for ourselves and what we're trying to build. Because naturally, if you're doing that and if you're becoming a better person, either those people are going to leave or you will leave because you will notice that they don't align with the beautiful person you're trying to be or successful person you're trying to be, or they will start to align with you because that's what they also want. You see the pattern here? If you are wanting to be beautiful and successful, people that want that as well will be drawn to you, and that creates a better relationship and all comes together and connects. So that's my little spiel. Another thing I wanted to add is all these gurus and spiritual leaders and coaches and therapists and religious people, there's such an overwhelming amount out there in the world, so much so it intimidates even myself of like, why would people want to listen or hear me? What's the point? Which is the negative thought, because then I'll start to align all the reasons why I shouldn't do it. But traveling the world has really opened my eyes to see how diverse we are as people and how we all connect to things in different ways, right? I might touch somebody not in a weird way. I might touch someone's soul in such a different way and speak to them that connects and aligns to the way that I approach things and vice versa. So don't ever give up feeling like it's too late or too much out there. I'm right here doing it with you, and there's so many other people. And I think we underestimate how much wealth and opportunity there is out there for everybody, because there really is enough for everyone. We have some greedy people out there that like to take it all and in fear of sharing. But again, that's a very scarcity mindset that we don't want to try to get into. The more that we can share, the more that it just will naturally come back. Another thing I'd like to add again about when I was on my YouTube and just watching people just tell me everything I want to hear, it doesn't give me an opportunity for growth and reflection. And so I think that's what I was trying to get at. Being mindful of what people are saying online and their credentials and things that are backing them up, and making sure that you feel safe of what they're saying and you're feeling heard. The beautiful, sorry, I'm tripping on my words. The beautiful thing about it though is I can bash on them as much as I want, but at the end of the day, they're saying beautiful things. And so hearing all of that are just also great reminders of staying on track, believing in yourself. That's my little 2 cents on that. And thanks for joining me as I'm trying to grow my page. Please like, comment to engage, positive comments, any questions you might have, suggestions on more videos I should take, and subscribe to my channel. And I have my little community thing. We can all grow. Like if you're a content creator, that's the thing I believe in so much right now, is that we have so much wealth of information. It is impossible for one person to know everything. And so why are we withholding information when we can just share and connect with everyone on a health and safe level? And then people who can't reach like services or afford services can have access to that information. Thank you.